Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have got round 2. Fish, as usual, talk us through the matchup.
Dan, the hard man Haben on the left, playing Water Lightning. Finn on the right, Mono Ice mid-range, apparently. That's what he described it as to me. That's what I'm going with.
I love it. That hot seat on the right is turning into a mono ice seat.
Oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
The team knew I was coming back today, and they've just serenaded me with mono ice decks.
Just tickling you that little bit. Just don't go
just
full.
Just a tip, little bip boop.
Yeah, just don't get full kiddie on me and be like, I gotta go play. The ice is calling.
No. I definitely do not have any cravings to play right now. I am loving being sat next to you, loving being back commentating.
Oh, wait, and you're going skiing soon and leaving me though? That's right.
I've got a week off next week.
Yeah,
I've got some hard-earned annual leave next week, so I won't be here. But I'll be thinking of you, maybe.
You'll be tuning in from the ski slopes. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, maybe. We've had an exchange of cards. We've had a cutting of the deck. How do you think this is going to go?
Hard to say because the amount of EX bits that Dan has in his deck, I think, could really play a huge part here. It doesn't go super aggro and it does take setup, but when you're covered by those EXs, it's pretty nice.
I worry about how much removal he may have access to in Water Lightning. Mono Ice isn't always the most efficient of decks, especially at getting things back.
Oh, just I've seen it's got like things like Man in Black, Chaos Arc. Yeah, like he's running a ton of Odins.
Okay, but this is a much better opening. Got a pretty clean opening from Finn here because I believe Finn has got a Lufenian and a Cisne as well as a Nero. So we've got a really clean opening where Finn can go Lufenian, Cisne turn 1, Nero turn 2, and then wherever the wind takes you. Dan doing very much Water Lightning things. Sarah, getting Princess Sarah. Standard affair.
Yeah, and that's it. This is just going to be on his lightning to get his lightning for later. The 2-drop multi-element.
So is he a complete mix? Do we think 50-50 Water Lightning cards? Is he majority water?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
How crucial is this colour fixing?
That's a tough one. That one I'm not quite sure. It seemed pretty even earlier when there seemed to be a small group of us gathered around him and Alex doing a free play game. So. Yeah. But
I must have misread the cards in Finn's hand, so it looks like he maybe didn't have the Lufenian because he's gone for the Nero off the bat. So I wonder if he's just going to go full on Nero into Vice turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you being the mono ice player here, does Nero Ice just kind of seem a bit too slow these days, or is it still viable?
The place that I still see it and still use it is in Ice Earth, with more of a discard every turn with Scale Toads and Biblos on board. Outside of that, I personally haven't been the biggest fan. It's a bit too slow to get both of those things online.
I suppose realistically from Finn's perspective here, he's probably sitting a little bit pretty. We can see that Dan has a Chaos in hand, but he's playing mono. Or playing against mono, I should say. So that is going to be a pricey card to go in for.
Yeah, but it almost becomes free discard, I think. You got to kind of be smart in these matchups, and you think, look, I'm playing against mono ice. I'm unlikely to ever really get my Chaos Arcs off unless Finn puts down a rogue or something like that, and then it feels a bit better because you've got a couple elements, so paying 7 CP just does feel a little bit nicer than 9. But yeah, otherwise I think you're just discarding those dark cards whenever Finn's playing discard against you.
Yeah, I think still being able to hard cast that arc isn't a bad shout. But this type of move here, Cheap Knight, Dull Freeze, these were some of your pet cards for a while.
Yeah, I love this card last well. Really strong, really good, just generic 2CP. It's just a shame there's just not enough Knight cards in Ice for it to really feel like a package, but also it doesn't really fit in other Knight decks, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I think your more standard Knight decks tend to want to be fire, water.
Well, it's going to seem to put in a bit of work here. Going to dull freeze that one water backer that Dan has here. It's going to slow him down a little bit.
But yeah, I do love this last one. I kind of wish this had been the promo instead of the Agrius that we got. I think this is a bit more playable than the Agrius. Although, if you're playing, because I think you can play the Laswell without the Agrius. I don't think you can really play the Agrius without playing the Laswell.
Yeah, completely agree. Right, so while we're waiting on a. Oh, right.
So
Hang on, I was going to say.
Yeah, long and hard. I imagine we're seeing. Okay,
There's
so
the
he's got a rug.
Okay, now a lot of people are already saying that this may not make it to the next set.
So that rug has got Brave, so I don't know why it's been dulled. Nice EX burst from Dan. Hitting the Liner.
And a hitting it.
That Irvin's a nice hit.
Yeah.
Gonna go to end step. Laswell's gonna be a discard.
Surely you just go after the Princess Sarah here. Oh, wait, sorry, it's discard, not Dolpheus, isn't it? Ah.
Yeah.
God, take me back to bed.
I feel like, do you really... Okay, he's choosing to keep the Chaos.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm also not a big fan of Tidus. I think it's seen it stay in the sun, and I think it's a bit too slow these days. But
Don't get me wrong, there are definitely niche occasions now and then where you see it and it's really troublesome for your opponent to deal with. If they've got loads of targeted stuff, if it's your only forward and having to target, like, it can be really tricksy. But I agree. I think those situations are becoming less and less frequent as time has gone on.
yeah, now we can see that Dan here has pulled the multi-element lightning, but I don't, because I think he pretty much sets his Princess Sarah to lightning. I don't think we're seeing that anytime soon.
I think we're probably going to see maybe a...
Man in
well,
black.
we don't know what the Princess Sarah was made. I assume lightning, but I think if you're Dan, I'm inclined to try and get some backups down.
Yeah, he's got the Loprit there. I think that's a really good card he could be putting down. But he's probably going to get Yuna, I guess, here off the Ico.
So this grabs a summoner, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's running that 5 CP unit, so when he casts a summon, he gets extra draw. Could be really powerful against a mono ice deck, getting a draw engine. I think it's a smart play from Dan. You want to get access to that draw engine as quickly as you can to try and combat discards heading your way.
The problem is, though, is he going to have enough time to pull that off? He's already staring at damage 4 and losing another backup here.
Yeah, and he could very well be at damage 5 next turn as well, because I feel we'll see a Vice probably come down. The Rug and the Laswell are going to be able to attack, and the Rug is going to give a forward haste as well.
Yeah.
So I feel we probably could see a Vice coming down now, getting a discard, get a Dull Freeze, Rug, Laswell, Vice swing in.
Yeah, we could be seeing Finn go pretty far here, but again, the reason I love this game so much is that we can just see a game seesaw back and forth pretty quickly. So,
Well, it could hinge on a single big EX burst. We've already seen Elena get hit in damage.
yeah, and
And
again,
Odin would be game-changing
yeah,
right
and
now.
Dan is running a lot of them. There's at least 9, I believe, in the deck.
Although we did see when he cast the Reeve, he did draw 2 Odins as well as the Ico. So 2 Odin EX bursts have gone to the bottom of the deck.
But-
Finn won't know that though.
yeah,
Okay, Finn is just going to damage.
and there's the Odin.
And we called it!
Oh.
Bang!
The other big thing here we could have seen. Oh, there's another Odin, no EX.
No
though.
EX burst.
But another big one there, that with that sort of forward makeup that Finn had on his side of the board, is that 6-drop Leviathan, which saw so much prevalence at Winter Cup.
Oh wait,
So,
Finn discarded the Vice.
yeah. Now we see that Dan has discarded the Chaos to
The
the
Laswell.
Laswell.
Finn probably regretting discarding that Vice, because I think he's got just a Nero as a dead card in hand. Bit of a misplay there, because it would have been the ideal play to get the Vice to come down. Then you would have got a discard, a Dull Freeze, and then you would have got another Dull Freeze off the Laswell discard. So it could have been 2 backups Dull Frozen down and an extra card discarded. So
Well, there's that.
could that be telling?
And there's that Loprit from earlier. Let's see what he gets off of that.
I like this as well. He's running this 3 CP Leviathan. This is the one that lets you manipulate the top of your deck by drawing 2 and then putting 1 back at the top of your deck. In a Water Lightning build such as this with a lot of EX bursts, that could be dangerous.
Unfortunately, though, he did put the 6-drop Leviathan into the bin, which I suppose could have been really good off the back of that.
But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, we can get this Leviathan up. I believe this Leviathan, you have to put one of the 2 cards you draw as the card on top. So let's see what we can draw off the top. Not too much help D there for Finn.
Alright, help me narrow down which Leviathan it is. This one. Okay.
Draw 2 cards, then put one card from your... Oh no, it is 1 card from your hand. Okay, I take it back.
Yeah.
So we could have put the 6 CP Leviathan there.
Now again, this feels like Dan might have actually just kind of pulled ahead here. 5 backups. Nice colour spread there. The Una is going to make a difference. So let's have a look at that one. There you go.
So this Terror is coming down. So just trying to catch up with this. So just getting that Una up, because I think trying to get my head around how Finn can play around this Una, because if it gets targeted, it can cancel the targeting, but only by abilities, not by summons.
Yeah, I don't think that's... I mean, it might be a huge, kind of huge effect, because it's going to be tough, but going to Dawn Freeze out of the way first.
Yeah, so he's played this Terror, he has searched for an Ice Summon, he's got a Shiva,
and he's, I think, paying...
And he's then played the new Shiva for 1 CP to dull and freeze the Una, and then got rid of 4 ice cards, then bounce it back to his hand. Is he thinking about doing it again? So he's now just using this now to kill that Una. He's just not happy with that Una staying alive. Yeah. Laswell coming in. Another EX burst. Ooh, another Irvin. Nice hit. Laswell's going to get a discard. So Dan is at the mercy of his top decks, although he's seen an Odin, 7 CP Odin as one of those cards.
Oh, it feels bad to cast a 7-drop Odin on a 2-drop Laswell.
I know, but he has seen the Man in Black, and he's got a Moogle there, so you could just play the Man in Black and get the Moogle ready to play.
Yeah, keep that loop in, stop the Laswell attack, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, it gives you. It starts giving you access to some draw to try and search for some answers to what the questions that Finn is raising for yourself. Whilst also, if a rug comes down, you can try and keep it offline as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a preparation turn here for Dan, as long as he gets something out like the Man in Black, I think would be perfectly fine. I don't know if tapping out there is maybe the best choice, but
I think we think the Princess Sarah is lightning, so I feel like tapping 3 and getting rid of the Odin feels reasonable, because then you've got access to the Moogle off your water CP, and you can potentially buff the Man in Black to 10k with the Princess Sarah, which stops this Shiva that Finn used last turn against Una. That does 9k to a dull forward. So if Finn tries to do any sort of shenanigans like that again to kill this Man in Black, they can do that using that Shiva.
Yeah, we still got to remember that Cissnei at the back line there does still have that counter on it as well, and we've seen how prevalent that can be in games before, so...
Yeah, although it looks like we're going to get the... I think he's thinking about playing the Reno here, which I think would be a good call. You could then pay the 1 CP to give it haste. The Man in Black, you then force the Man in Black to there on the Reno to stop it from attacking.
As much as that would stop the Rue coming out, I think the biggest threat still might be that Laswell.
Well, that's what I mean. But it gives Dan a bit of a hard choice, because if he chooses the Laswell, he saves himself the discard, but the Reno will attack, get the Rude for free, which will dull freeze your Man in Black. If you choose the Reno, you kind of protect the Man in Black, but then the Man in Black probably gets dull frozen anyway by this Cissnei, and the Laswell will still be able to come in and get a discard.
Well, we're going to see the Moogle and the Man in Black interaction as we thought.
Okay, and we've seen an Ixion go down, so yeah, we're now seeing that Cissnei get the dull freeze on the Man in Black. And then we'll probably see this Laswell come in now.
So what did he choose not to
He chose the Reno.
Okay.
So he cast the Moogle. He has been able to draw an Ixion, and the Ixion is probably going to get cast now, just to kill that Laswell.
I don't hate this, to be honest.
It protects the point of damage. You kind of still get to discard them down. But you also kind of force Dan to a position where he has to draw a summon, which he hasn't done. No. So this Reno can now attack and Dull Freeze that man in black with the Rude that it will play from deck.
I mean, he does have the Lockret effects if he potentially wanted to draw. But
yeah, which is probably what he's thinking about doing.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he's going to discard to do it, so you draw 2. Hoping that he draws a summon now. Don't draw an Arc, that would be bad. He draws a summon, but it's an Odin, which he now cannot cast because he hasn't got enough cards in hand. Dan can be in a bit of trouble here.
And unfortunately, I think that would have been the second card as well, so I don't think he would have hit it on the EX burst.
Yeah.
So he's kind of got a hope here that he sees another EX burst there that might just save him.
Yeah, so we'll probably see the Reno attack here. Finn has been a pro gamer and hasn't drawn double Rude, which would have absolutely scuppered the plan. So the Rude is going to come down. He's going to get a Dull Freeze on that man in black. And we'll see a point of damage come through here as well. And it is an Odin!
It is the Odin!
Ask and thou shalt receive. Thinking about killing the Rude, I probably wouldn't because we still got a Rude left in deck. So if you kill the Rude, there's a chance the Reno could just swing again next turn.
Definitely the right choice.
Correctly so, that Reno is going in the bin. We've got some options here. I'd be inclined just to do Unaleska Pass. The man in black is Dull Frozen. Don't get too carried away here and try and 9k the man in black because Princess Sarah will just save it.
Yeah.
Okay, he's actually just digging for the draw, hoping to see what he draws. And draws blank, hits a knight that's going to gain him a crystal.
The thing is, though, getting that a little bit deeper when you're so far ahead isn't too bad.
Yeah, and this crystal may prove to be very useful in the coming turn, so let's see what Dan can draw.
He's pulled the Leviathan again, and he could putting the X back on top doesn't really
now
make a
at damage
difference.
6, yeah. So Leviathan isn't as strong, but what it will allow Dan to do is allow him to cycle his deck a little bit, and also it's a castable summon, so Man in Black can protect.
But he's doing it now,
He's
though.
doing it now. Okay. Probably just hoping for an answer. Okay, he's hit an Odin. Now this Odin is reduced by 1 for each Odin in break zone, but I think he's only got 1 Odin there. From what I can see. Oh no, he's got 2, so this Odin is going to cost 4 CP.
I believe it's that one, right? Yeah. Nailed it.
Dan's going to keep digging with Moogle here.
I kind of think you wait until your opponent's turn to do this, though, surely, because you could have stopped these attacks quite nicely.
Right. Dan's still got a summon to cast to stop Finn, in that he's got this Odin that he can cast for 4 CP. So if Finn tries to play anything that has haste, Dan can essentially kill one and say the other one can't attack. Speaking of, ask and thou shalt receive.
There be the ruggers.
There be a card with haste.
That being said, I know we're quite a crucial moment in this match. Do you want to go get your food? Because that was the beeper of his that went off.
It is. That was my food that was ready, but I'm glued to my seat. I'm absolutely riveted here. I feel like we're probably going to see the Ruggedine come down here.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Big old Ruggers himself.
Now we're going to see the Odin, I imagine, get cast. Or do we cast the 6B Leviathan and send the Ruggedine back to the top of the deck? I'm
pretty sure his Princess Sarah is lightning, though, so I don't think he can.
He hasn't got the CP, you're right. So Odin's going to come down, kill the Rug, say the Rude can't attack. Buys Dan, and so Dan could potentially...
Wait.
Hang on a sec, the Rude can't attack.
No, go get him. That is a fail, because that Rug cannot... Oh, that Rude, sorry, cannot attack. So let's have a look at this. When you cast a summon, choose up to 1 forward, so it's not a May, it is a missed trigger. looks like I think we're just kind of sticking with it. I can hear Dan from over there. I can just hear it saying that he forgets he has that line of text. But no, it looks like Dan is just going to take that scoop. Which is unfortunate because he still had a turn, and I think he could have kept that 6-drop Leviathan there to cast it on the next turn if if the rogue was there or anything. But that is it. Dan taking the loss on that unfortunate series of events. Yeah, so we're going to go to Be Right Back, guys, and probably, well, we'll try and get Finn over, I guess. We've got 9 minutes, and let Jack go get his food, so we'll be right back.
Alrighty, and we are back, and we are joined with Finn, the winner of our round 2. Happy New Year to yourself.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much. And starting the new year with a bang. Big win.
Yeah. I'll take it. I'm on 2-7-0 clean wins now.
Hey,
so
nice. One of us doing bits in 2024. That's what we like to see.
Yes.
Talk me through that game then. How did it pan out for you? What were your thoughts with the matchup?
So I think that overall, it was a good start for me. I got out the cheeky General Regime with.
The last one.
Yeah, with the last one.
Nice.
That's
a strong combo.
That's a classic 1-2 punch, and I think that Dan definitely went to try and slam as many backups out as possible, which can work. But I think I got in there just quick enough.
I think it's always a bit of a twitchy matchup. I find as well with the Mono White is that you did at one point just run into an Odin EX burst. It's just like. Feels like a bit of a sucker punch. You get all this advantage, you get ahead, and then you were able to survive the scare, hit some nice things like the Irvines on there. I think there was one point where after you played the rug, I think the turn after, you maybe discarded the Vice to play the rug, and I don't know if you'd done that intentionally or maybe thought afterwards, because I think the next time I was like, now Vice is such a good card to play down. You could have given it haste with the rug, put them at 5 damage. You'd have potentially got like 2 Dolan freezes with the last swell discard and the Vice discard. But in the end, didn't make any difference. You were able to get over the line. Were you worried? And what was going through your mind when the man in black kind of you kept it dull frozen for a while, but then it got active towards the end?
So for a few turns I had the 3-drop Shiva in hand to deal 9k to that forward, but Dan also had the tapped Princess Sarah on Lightning, so I was just like, I can't guarantee killing it until that thing is tapped and used for something else, and I just kept on going, go on, do it.
Waiting for them to use it for something else, opening that window for you. So.
Exactly. And I think that 3-drop Shiva is quite good. It helps you deal with twins, where the ice deck usually falls down straight away to strats like that, and being able to actually just reliably kill a few more forwards. That card's quite good.
Yeah, and talking about the twins match, have you thought about playing any of the old 2CP Shiva? There's one that lets you kill a dull 2CP or less and make them discard a card, and also protection from taking any damage. It has like 2 different effects.
No, I'm gonna have to look into that because twins is my nightmare matchup. So
well, exactly. From someone who has also found a nightmare matchup and has been thinking about all the ways around it, I've been putting Reapers in from the new set, been eyeing up that Shiva. Are you running a big Shiva package? So we saw the free cast one, we saw the crystal one, and we saw the new 1CP one. Any other Shivas in there?
No, those are the 3 Shivas, and I think they're doing the job quite nicely. There's 2 of the 4-drop one, 2 of the 1-drop one, and 3 of the 3-drop one I'm trying at the moment. I don't know if that's the right mix, probably not, but...
Weren't tempted to go all in on the Shiva package and go for that 1CP one that wants Shivas in break zones.
Yeah, I did sort of think when I was putting the deck together, I was like, this is a lot of Shivas. Can I start to look at the summon thing? And I'm like, that's not what the deck's doing, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, easy to get carried away.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything? Okay, so you mentioned twins. Any other big things you're worried about playing against? Outside of Gigawall, because
Gigavolt's nasty. Usually just the deck, because the deck usually relies on playing a few less backups and a few more forwards. They're quite value-orientated decks, like even just like mono Earth decks that people might bring along to weekends and stuff like that.
Not just, things that you're not expecting, not prepared for.
Yeah, because it's easy to go. I know what, I've seen a few signature cards. I know exactly what they're doing, but I think that actually when you're playing Ice especially, because you are relying on having those forwards out and doing what they're doing, as soon as someone plays something with enough value and,
it could be scary.
gets over that, then it gets scary.
Alrighty, and then finally, any big plans? We've got a new year ahead of us, new sets on the horizon, lots of talks about being the biggest year for the game. Valve's been talking about big tournaments. What are your big goals for this year?
My big goals this year, I'd love to win my first weekly, which could happen today.
Hey, we'll keep our fingers crossed, stay tuned.
Yeah,
big prize today as well with that full art Amaterasu foil.
I know, right? It's Amaterasu month, so everyone get down
It'd be a
and
good
play.
time to
Everyone get
win
down
your
and
first
play
weekly.
weeklies.
Okay, awesome. Well, hopefully you can start the year with a bang and achieve a goal already. That would be amazing.
Absolutely, and also I'm looking forward to finding out what limit breaks are. Tell us what limit breaks are.
Tell us now. If you're watching Square, tell us more.
Tell us what limit breaks are.
I'm dying to find out. We saw a few things spoiled this week about some other limit break cards, like
Yeah,
Kuja and New Vincent.
Nah, they look exciting.
Yeah. Nice
Anyway,
one. Cool.
nice one. Thank you very much.
No,
Cheers.
thank you. We are going to go back to Be Right Back and we'll be with you with round 3 shortly. Catch you later.